City of Stevens Point Finance Committee meeting, recorded December 9, 2024.
We'll call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order at 6:53. Marcy, could you take roll, please?
Christensen.
Here.
Morrow.
Aye.
Shuda.
Here.
Keemer. Here. Broderick. Here.
Okay, we have 4 items to discuss and have possible action on. Item number 2 is the approval of an amendment to section 4.18 of the revised municipal code, our city ordinance related to the referendum requirement for transportation projects. We were probably aware of this. We've started some discussion back last fall. The mayor and the staff have been working on suggested language. I'm just kind of curious if there's someone that, maybe our city attorney, I know he was part of that process. If you could just kind of give a little bit of background of how we got from last fall to where we're at this evening as far as some suggested language.
I guess, can you clarify just a little further what it is that you're...
Just let us know kind of the process you guys went through as far as developing this language.
Well, I think we all kind of knew that there was a timetable on this and that people would probably want to change it, and discussions came up a couple times at our Monday staff meeting, and I was asked to put something together, and this is it.
Okay. So I know the mayor and the staff, the different directors in the city have been working on this hard. So what you have before you is their recommendation. A motion to consider a motion to approve would be in order so we can begin discussion.
So moved.
Moved by Alder Broderick. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Morrow. Discussion. Questions?
This is to repeal, just as a summary, repeal the referendum that passed 2 years ago about the $1 million, and we're going back to basically that never existed.
It's a modification of the language that was approved a little over 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
Other questions?
I have a comment. I would be in favor of this because, like, to go over $1 million now on any kind of project that we have is, I mean, almost everything we do is over $1 million. Yeah. I mean, especially for roads, sewers, I mean, any public works that we end up doing, it's a lot more than that. And the process that we go through, just like we're doing now for Business 51, has been years and years and years. We've had talks. We've had listening sessions, we've had consultants, we've had plans, we've had meetings, special council meetings on this over and over and over again. I mean, and each time that we delay, the price just keeps going up and up and up. You could look at the county for the jail. I mean, and for the new city hall that they want to do. I mean, the costs just keep going up. And I mean, and the due diligence that this council does and that our city staff does with planning and getting things ready, the logistics of it, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I am in favor of I'm in favor of this new ordinance.
Okay. Anyone else on the committee? Is there anyone on the public that would like to speak on it?
Sam Lang, District 9 Alder, 1547 Strongs. Just like to say thanks to the attorney and our other city staff that have been working on this. This is something that, well, it's going to come to a head one way or the other. We got to make a decision on this because construction starts, you know, as soon as the snow melts, kind of thing. And if we want to get things done, like getting potholes fixed and that kind of a thing, we are going to have to start spending money. So, and when we're looking at our projects, it's going to be in excess of $1 million, and we don't have a way to go to referendum this year. we'd have to wait till next spring to be able to go to referendum on anything. Is that correct? Or, yeah. So, like, we could go a year without doing any streets construction projects. That's one of these things, and I don't think anybody wants that. I think we have some things that we need to get done in our city, and that's why I'd be asking for support on this, is we got to move forward on some things. Now, the other thing that I see in this that I find to be very, I'll say, smart is we've excluded utilities from this now. Like, if you look at that language now, we're not including in that number the utilities part of that. And so that can shrink that number down quite a bit when we're looking at that, sticker price on our projects. And I find that to be quite brilliant, really. So I'd just be asking you to, look at how that figures for us in the future. And yeah, we got to raise what we're going to be able to spend one way or the other. And I hope you support moving that number up, whatever you guys decide.
Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, we'll call the question.
Ashley Alderperson, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
This represents a lot more than an ordinance amendment. For the benefit of the newer people on council and those that have been here 10 years, we've gone through this before with Mayor Halverson and the design for Business 51. It is a contentious project. There are few things that have divided this community more than Division Street.
Who?
Right? Who? We've talked about that. The Division Street name in itself is kind of a poor choice, but that's what it is. And I think most people in this room understand that that referendum that was done a little over 2 years ago was done specifically for that. It wasn't intended to make our processes slower, which it has. They've all passed, which is great, but it does make our process slower. We have to have our Director of Public Works come up with projects. In one case, it was 1.5 years before we knew what we could do, and we had to get it approved. Now, again, it passed. But I think, and we can talk about, I didn't know, I didn't turn the ballot over, I thought it was something else. But I think everybody understands that Division Street reconstruction was the catalyst for this referendum. And I think that came about because the citizens that showed up at those countless public meetings didn't feel they were heard. Now, there's a difference between being heard and being agreed with. I understand that. But at one point, there was a number, more than a couple of dozen people speaking at a meeting, and several alderpersons read from a prepared statement. Whether they changed it or not, it didn't look good when you have a community of people showing up, I think it was around 50, to tell you what they feel, and then you read from a piece of paper. Sitting on the outside, I feel like you weren't going to listen to me ever. Now, I know that's not true. We have good people representing our community, and they have the best interest of the community in mind. But I want to make sure that we all understand that this isn't just a simple ordinance amendment. This, to some people, is going to look like kicking the pants or spitting in front of them, because one more time, we see that their wishes aren't being acknowledged. Now, I'm not a fan of the 3-lane design all the way through either, but this is a democracy, and the council makes those decisions, and they have reaffirmed through several iterations of council that that's what they want. So whether you like it or not, that's what should happen. But I think we need to do a better job going forward of making sure that we try to understand where the other person's coming from, or other community members. And I hope we take that to heart going forward from this. Thank you.
Okay. I do want to make it clear, too, that this is our first chance to act on a change of this ordinance. We began the discussion last fall. It was brought forward, so we will have the opportunity at council next week to actually take a look and consider any potential alterations to that. But that being said, this is what we have before us this evening, and the motion has been made and seconded, so we will
Can I
take a vote.
make another comment?
Sure.
Please. So one thing that the mayor said was that folks didn't feel like that they were being heard. I know as a result of this amendment as well, I know a lot of changes were also made to that proposal as well. And for that point, I mean, this did end up getting. I mean, more people got accesses that they didn't have. There are also changes made to the outlays, to the roads, and so on. I mean, so like, I mean, that's what brought this about. And again, people didn't feel like that they were being heard, and then they were heard. There is debate on if folks didn't pay attention till the very last, but eventually they did, and when they did, the city did kind of scramble and did work with AECom. I know that the mayor talked to a lot of folks as well, all up and down Business 51, to try to make sure that he could get things done that needed to end up being done.
Mm-hmm. Alderman Morrow, I think that's a very good point. There have been modifications made to the plan based upon input received from the public, so which is one of the big advantages of having that public input. It's able to be considered and accommodations made whenever possible. So, all right, we will we'll take our vote. Call the vote, please. Sure, please.
Morrow.
Aye.
Shuda.
No.
Keemer. Aye. Roderick. Aye. Christensen.
Aye. And that passes. That brings us to item number 3, approval of an agreement with Northside Yard for the leasing of parking spaces in the municipal lot number 8. Who do we, Dr. Kivela?
Community development.
Either way.
All right.
Yes, thank you. Chris was out sick today, so he did not want to attend and get others sick. Memo's in your packet, so I'll stay brief with it. Northside Yard had approached the city to potentially lease parking spots in Lot 8, which is just to the west of Northside Yard. The City and Redevelopment Authority and Northside Yard negotiated some terms for Northside Yard to rent a portion of that parking lot. So coming forward here for recommendation, approval, and then taking this to council. There will be minimal impacts on this agreement, as the lot is not used to its full potential, and also with this would come the restriping of the lot. So there'd be benefits to not only the income coming in from it, but also the usage and improvement of it for a short time.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Committee, what are your wishes?
I'll move to approve.
We have a move to approve by Alder Keemer.
I'll
Is there a second? And second by Alder Shuda.
If you recall from the Public Works meeting, in conjunction with this, we are reducing the amount of parking available on 3rd Street. With parking on both sides, it just became impassable. The road is a bit narrow, so we're restricting parking to one side of the street between Centerpoint and Franklin. I'm sorry, Centerpoint and Portage, and the opposite side of the street between Franklin and Portage, so we can allow residents or people who park there overnight to adhere to the odd, even side of the road.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Any other questions or comments by the committee? Any from the public? Hearing none, we'll take our vote.
Shuda.
Aye.
Keemer. Aye. Roderick. Aye. Christensen.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
Okay. And that'll bring us to item number 4, authorization of the Community Development Department to apply for a Great Lakes Environment Justice Thriving Communities Grantmaking Program. Director, we get to hear from you again.
Tongue twister for you. Yeah, so the city has been utilizing the EPA's Brownfield Assessment Grant for quite some time for many of the projects like Northside Yard, Shopko, Centerpoint Mall, and various other projects. We are no longer a competitive applicant for that grant due to some recent changes. With that, the city community development is looking for additional grant opportunities. This grant opportunity was brought to us. I did have, like many grant opportunities, a pretty short application timeline. They typically only give you a month and a half usually. So with that, that's coming up at the end of January. The city is looking into 3 potential projects. The city can apply for all 3. The city can only receive 2, though. Still evaluating the competitiveness of each topic. But I guess trying to get a proactive approval to be able to apply for this as it is due at the end of the month.
Okay. Any questions for the director? Otherwise, a motion to approve would be in order.
I'll move approval.
We
Second.
have motion by Keemer, second by Morrow. Questions, comments, thoughts?
Love seeing a grant with no matching.
Yeah, this is just, there is no matching, as I'm fairly certain of, so it makes it a very advantageous grant, obviously. Seems to be pretty much a no-brainer, so. Any comments from the public? Questions? Hearing none, we'll take the vote.
Keemer. Aye. Broderick. Aye. Christensen.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
And that passes. That brings us to our final action item, approval of claims paid. Comptroller, anything you want to highlight for us?
Yeah, just several large payments for road projects and capital projects. And then also, we did have the payment for $114,000 for the former Fox Theater for the facade improvement grant that was approved previously. So.
Okay. Any questions for the comptroller by the committee? Otherwise, a motion to approve would be in order.
Move to approve claims paid.
We have a motion to approve by Broderick. Is there a second? Second by Shuda. Comments? See anything out of the ordinary you'd like to have clarified? Hearing none, we'll take the vote.
Broderick.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Keemer. Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Our agenda is exhausted, and we stand adjourned at 7:08.